And this is, so Nicaea in 325 is the first ecumenical council. There are ultimately 7, and they go up through 787. And the first one, so the first one is Nicaea. The second one, and so the Nicaea is the one where they're trying to argue, we know that Jesus, I often think of it as a timeline of questions, right? In the Gospels, they're saying, who is this Jesus? And then by the time we get to Nicaea, they're asking, okay, how is Jesus fully divine? Like, we have one God and Jesus is divine. How is this working? And once they settle this and they say, okay, Jesus is fully divine as well. Then the second ecumenical council is at Constantinople in 381, so what is now Istanbul in Turkey. And in 381, they have the second one to say, we also think the Holy Spirit is divine, basically. They reaffirm Nicaea and the things that came out. And Nicaea only has, so what we call the Nicene Creed, what's in the hymnal, I think it's like page 881 in the hymnal or something. It's, when we call it the Nicene Creed, it's actually the Nicene Constantinopolitan Creed, which is a mouthful. That's why we don't call it that. And it's the creed that came out of Nicaea is a little bit shorter, and what we have it from what we now call the Nicene Creed, there are additions that happened at Constantinople. So at Nicaea, the line about the Holy Spirit is just, and we believe in the Holy Spirit. And Constantinople adds the Lord, the giver of life, who proceeds from the Father, who is worshipped and co-glorified and all that. And so Constantinople expands a little bit further on that, as well as reaffirming. And then we get the third and fourth ones, I think. I might be skipping one. Are about how the humanity and divinity of Jesus work together. There's 3 and 4 both happen at Ephesus. And there are these councils at Ephesus that are both trying to argue, okay, now that we have decided Jesus is fully divine, and we also knew Jesus was human, wait, how do those work together? How can he be both? Because you can't be 100% one thing and 100% something else. How does this work? And so they're trying to argue that, and there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of back and forth, and those are sort of minor ecumenical councils. And then in 451, we get the Council of Chalcedon. So still basically in Turkey, the Council of Chalcedon happens, and that is the one where we get this definition that says, okay, Jesus is 100% human and 100% divine, and there's no division or separation. And that's another one where it was basically, there's a couple different people suggesting maybe this is how it goes together. And the Council of Chalcedon said, no, we think those don't work. We can't say those. So we're going to rule those out, and we're going to make this the definition. And it's still a really vague definition because, I mean, how can you really describe Jesus past a certain point, right? I think I've said before, we try to put words on mystery. And so at some point our words will fail. But we have to also say something. We have to have language. And so that's what this council is doing. I can't remember the 6th one off the top of my head, but the 7th one is in 787. They're arguing about icons and whether you can use icons in the church. And so these are all coming, and that one's the second council of Nicaea, 787. So they're back at Nicaea late. And all of these are the major issues for the church coming together and saying, these are the things we really have to hammer out. I mean, it had 7 in 400 years. It wasn't like this was it wasn't an every 4 years general conference thing. So they're trying to sort out the really big issues. Yeah.